Greetings, YouTube. I haven't talked about this issue in a couple months. In fact, if you were to ask me in February if I was going to cover this in a topic video in mid-April, I probably would have been in disbelief or close to horrified because Kabam, toward the end of 2021 and certainly to start 2022, came out with a number of promises to the community, including some things that they've done, right? They've given us some, though they've been delayed, updates on the input fix, which we will talk about in this forum post. They said that we would have some kind of Alliance War compensation. A lot of you weren't happy with it, but we technically got it. They said until the inputs were fixed, we would continue to get Wednesday compensation. We've done that, including a small amount of potions and revives and energy refills about once a month when the new patch drops that first Wednesday of the new patch to start the month. All that's true. And I don't want this video to seem like there hasn't been anything positive in the direction of what they said, because that wouldn't be true. There has been. But Kabam, I want to say in like October, maybe November, said that once this was all coming to a close, we would get a major compensation package. The first time that we have heard them say that in about a year plus. And when they say major compensation, they're just not talking about 5 potions and revives and energy refills. We're talking about some of the stuff that we have seen in the past. Crystal shards, maybe even Nexus crystals. They never seem to give out units, which I think is unfortunate. But in regards to compensation, certainly more of what we've seen. More potions, more revives, more energy refills. Now, I think part of why they haven't done this is that they didn't want people to have all this compensation ready to use when Act 7 came out. I think they wanted to, make some money off of people. They wanted people to have to spend units and revives. And if you give compensation too close to when major content is released, you're hurting your bottom line because people are going to use the compensation to clear the content. But now Act 7's been out for a few weeks. And by Act 7, I mean, of course, 7.4, the conclusion of Act 7. Act 7 itself has been out for much longer than that. And so as we respond to this, because Skylord 7000 says any news for this, I thought it would release sometime in the middle of the month. Kabam Mike says nothing right now, but hopefully soon. I should get a formal update out, but the short of it is we like where the fix is at, but there were some big bugs. When Kabam says there were big bugs, they were massive, that we're addressing right now and should have a new version of the update out to our beta testers pretty soon. If that goes well, we hope to get it out to a wider audience ASAP. Now, of course, wider audience would hopefully mean the community, but we have had to hold our breath when it comes to that expectation. If Kabam wants us to be excited to spend actual cash a week from tomorrow, which is historically about when spring cleaning deals drop, the promise of compensation, something that they've talked about for months, is not just necessity, it's imperative. Necessary implies expectations, imperative implies ultimately a guarantee of a delivery of a product that we've had promised since late last year. This is not us being greedy as a community. This is not us just looking to get a handout. And there are going to be people, there's two sides of the compensation spectrum I see in the comments. There's, whenever anything goes wrong, there's the pitchfork 6-star Nexus crowd, which just immediately wants a 6-star Nexus and is super upset and makes it look like to the people who are in the other side of the spectrum that they're like greedy toddlers. And then the other side of it is so loyal to Kabam that they don't think compensation is even necessary and people should just be thankful the game exists and shut up. And those are some of the same people that nicknamed my channel 5+ years ago Mr. Negative, because they felt like I always was being way too hard on Kabam and way too negative, and I needed to just be thankful or to stop playing the game altogether. Those same people, of course, have ignored so many videos I put out praising Kabam and all that they've done to help evolve the game and make it pro player and certainly bring more quality of life improvements to the contest. So as we see Kabam continue to talk about input fixes and trying to return the game to what we remember now over a year ago. It's important to note that they did promise us a big compensation package. I get that they would want to delay that until not only was the input issue resolved, but also that Act 7 had been completed and put out, but that has been the case. And now, as they continue to try to hopefully promise, though I remember them saying that this would all be fixed by October or November, and now it's April. So I'm going to hold my breath and actually wait and see if it's true. And I know that they are not happy about all these major bugs that have popped up, and that certainly has delayed things, but that's also par for the course versus what we have seen. And I don't know anything about designing a game with code, and so I usually give Kabam the benefit of the doubt, but some of the most passionate people who have been against Kabam on this are people who actually design coding for a living with very limited budgets compared to what Kabam has, and they have just been appalled at how many bugs continue to pop up in the game, which of course makes me think, well, maybe Kabam should hire those people, especially because they always seem to have so many jobs open on their website. So don't forget about the compensation. As a community, we not only deserve it, but they promised it. They might want to do the whole Men in Black mind eraser thing when it comes to, well, we never promised you that. They did. Let's not let them off the hook, especially when they expect people to spend hundreds of dollars in a week.